So I'm 11 years old, and I'm in 6th grade, and there's this girl that I'm interested in. It's like my first crush ever, and I'm like, whoa, like, she's so beautiful and everything. She wasn't really that, but now that I look back on it, but I waited until the end of the year to do anything because I was scared of the consequences. I was scared that if I said anything, I was scared that if I expressed my feelings, that, you know, it would be awkward for the rest of the year. I was that type of guy. I waited till the end of the year, literally to the end, like the last week of the year. And I didn't even talk to her. I actually asked my friend to go up to her and say that I liked her. I asked my friend. I didn't even do anything about it. I literally was such a fucking loser that I asked my friend to go up to her. It never worked out. Obviously, like it didn't work out, and I pretty much was seen as a loser. Now they didn't go out and say that, but I mean it was like now that I look back on it, it was like, bro, they she saw me as like a fucking beta like beta blue pilled motherfucker. Now obviously, you know, that's not actually in her mind. She saw me that way as like a loser basically. And from this time, this is one of the many times that I've experienced that just going up and having a conversation, simply going up, being assertive, having a nice, good conversation, being confident, is simply the way to go with almost all areas of life. Oh, yeah, and by the way, bro, if you're around my age, if you struggle with the same or similar things that people our age struggle with, consider subscribing down below because as I go through my journey, my challenges, I teach you exactly how I overcame these things. And most guys that teach teenagers problems, they're around 30 years old. They experienced it 15 to 20 years ago, and they don't even know what they're talking about because they're not experiencing it now. I am going through these things now. I teach you these things that my friends and these things that I learn now as I go through them. So if that sounds cool to you, consider subscribing down below. So this also works when you try to convince your parents of something. See, you clicked on this video because you want to know, well, okay, my parents are not letting me start business. Maybe they're being a little strict. They want me to go to college. They think the best path is to go get a good job, get a good degree, be a doctor or a lawyer. And they're not being supportive, and they're not really letting me do anything about, like, I mean, they kind of are letting me, but they don't really, they're kind of forcing me to go to college and do all these things, and I don't want to. And that's not my dream, that's not my life path. So what do I do about this? Because they aren't being supportive, they aren't really letting me, they're kind of forcing me to go to college and stuff. The answer is very simple. Honestly, it's a lot more simple than you realize. I mean, a lot of people overcomplicate it. Oh, it's such a simple answer that it seems like common sense to you, but you clicked on this video anyway because you wanted to know. So you didn't have this in your mind. If you clicked on this video, you wanted to know, oh, how can I convince my parents to let me start a business? How can I convince my parents of something? You clicked on this video because you don't know how. So clearly it's not common sense, even if it seems like, oh yeah, duh, but like, you didn't realize this before. So it's not necessary. I mean, it kind of is common sense, but you didn't realize it before. You need to be told this. So how do you convince your parents of something? Be assertive, be respectable, and be honest. And have a true adult conversation. Whoa! Like, it's so simple. It's such a simple answer, yet so many people overcomplicate it. They're like, "Oh, what do I do?" Like you think of all this analytical shit. Like, what tactic can I use to like convince the what manipulation? Like you're like starting to manipulate your parents. Like, bro, simple. Sit down and act like an adult and have adult conversation. It's simple. So many people overcomplicate it. Simply just be respectful, be confident, be assertive, be honest, and have a true adult, full adult conversation. Talk about your dreams, talk about where you want to be in life. Just explain it simply. Don't overcomplicate different tactics and manipulation tactics and all this shit. Just sit and have a conversation like an adult. See, you still act like a child. For your whole life they've seen you as like this loser little boy that can't do anything with his life, that doesn't know what he's talking about. Now you actually do know what you're talking about, but you still act like this little child. They still see you as this little child that for your whole life you've been this way, and you just suddenly changed. They're still in that mindset that you're still that way. So you have to realize you need to act like an adult. When you talk to your parents, you probably talk to them like you're still a child. Like you're not confident with them. You're kind of like, you still talk. You remember how maybe you didn't do this, but me, like my friend and like one of my old friends and myself both did this, so I think it's probably relatable. Basically, you remember how, or anyway, I used to always, when I wanted to like get a video game, or if I wanted to get some like snacks for tonight or something, I would always, if I wanted to ask them, I would always ask in like this really humble, like kiddish way, where it's like, can I have, like, can we do this, or can I please buy like a fucking, like a loser, like a child. You talk to them like a child. You act like a child. What do you expect to be treated like? If you act like an adult, you get treated like an adult. If you act like a child, you get treated like a child, like you don't know what you're talking about, like you don't know what you're doing with your life, like you're just making shit up. Don't break character. Speak from your heart. Have passion in what you know is right. Be 100% sure that you know what you're talking about, and you know what you're doing is right. Don't, when they bring up a kind of good point, but you kind of know that it isn't true, but it's kind of like a good point, maybe like, oh, it's a backup option. College is a backup option. Yeah, there's a lot of, I'm not gonna get into that, but like there's a lot of arguments against that, but um basically they come up with some like kind of logical argument that could make sense to a lot of people, but you kind of know it isn't right. Don't break character. Don't be like, oh yeah. Don't break character. No. No, you could say, oh yeah, like, yeah, you got a good point, and just keep working on your business anyway, but like, speak from your heart. Know that you're the one that's right. Know that what you're doing is your passion. Know that what you're doing is your true, like, mission, and what you're doing is truly purposeful. That you like know you want to be doing it, and you know that's your dream. Speak from your heart. Speak like an adult. Act like an adult, and just have a respectful conversation, because you see with your parents, when they talk to other adults, they talk to them like they're adults, and they like they hear other people out, they hear other adults out, but they don't hear you out. Now you could say, oh, but you're their child, and they gave birth to you, they have rights over you, and so therefore yeah, you could say all that shit, but truthfully, if you speak to them like an adult, they will treat you a lot more like an adult than if you act like a child. And most likely, you don't even realize it, but you act like a child. I kind of do sometimes. I'm a little more better at it. I've been practicing and stuff. But well, not necessarily practicing. I'm not like practicing, but I'm getting like I'm becoming more confident and assertive and everything. So become more adult like. Don't act like a child. Sit down, have a respectful conversation, be assertive, be confident, hold your hold your character, don't like speak from your heart. And now you could say, "Oh, but I don't want to argue. I don't want to argue about it and have an argument." Bro, you're going to have a fucking argument anyway. You're going to have some stupid ass argument in 2 weeks from now for some dumbass bullshit anyway that it was going to happen in the first place. Don't it you're going to have arguments along like you're going to have plenty of arguments in your life anyway. So what the fuck? Why have arguments and not follow your dreams when you could just have arguments and follow your dreams? Like, what? You're gonna have arguments anyway, so just follow your dreams in the meantime, you know? It's like you're gonna disagree with your parents on some things. You're gonna like you're gonna have some arguments. It's inevitable. So just live your life, follow your dreams in the meantime. Don't just live a fake life that they just want you to have just because, oh, you don't want to argue. When you argue fucking anyway, and then when you're not following your dreams, no one wins when you're not following your dreams. When you're talking to them, you're not present, you're resentful towards them because you're living a false life according to them. When you speak to them, your relationship gets worse and you start resenting each other because you're not living your dream. So, and no one wins when you don't live your dream. At least when you live your dream, you win. You see what I'm getting at here? Even if it comes to an argument, when really you can have just a respectful conversation, and most parents will be fine with that. But sometimes it might get a little heated, But that happens anyway, dude. That happens anyway. So you might as well live your dream life and have a good relationship towards them anyway. Because when you live your dream, your relationship gets better. And we've seen this in many people. I've seen this in many people. Their relationship gets better with their family when they're true to themselves, when they live their dream, when they don't live a false life according to their parents. So be thinking in your mind, like when you go up and talk to them, be thinking in your mind, like, don't say this out to them, but be thinking this in their mind, be thinking this in your mind. I'll hear you out. I'll hear you out. I'll hear what you're gonna say. I'll hear you out, but I'm gonna do me, and I'm not gonna waste time arguing because I know what I'm doing is right, and I know that I'm gonna do me. And I'll hear you out, but I'm gonna do me. Now you don't have to say this to them, but be thinking this in your mind, and don't just fall for their thing and then give up on your business and stuff. So I mean, even if they don't agree, if they don't support you in your business, don't kind of let you, then just say. When they say, oh, you got to do this, you got to go do that, you got to go to college, you got to do all these different things, and this what they want you to do, right? Just say oh yeah, fair enough, and then just fucking do it anyway. It's it's like when they say, oh, you gotta submit your college application. Obviously, if you're still watching this, you're probably around my age. You're probably younger than that. But let's say a couple years in the future, when you gotta submit your college application, they're like, oh, go submit your college application. Just say, oh yeah, I'll do that, and just don't. It's just dude, if you're around my age, if you're young like me, we have some advantages. It seems like, oh, but our parents, and there's so many difficulties with being our age. See, when we're our age, though, we have time. That is we have fucking time, and that's very important. That's most important resource is how you use your time. So, we have time. We have fucking time. We have few years before we have to worry about college and getting a job and all this bullshit and worrying about 9 to 5. We have a few years. We're fucking at the advantage here. So work your ass off on your business and start getting up to like 10K fucking a month and 20K a month and stuff. And you start scaling up your business. And eventually, by the time it's time for your college application, you can just be like, well, no, I earn more than lawyers do anyway, so why the fuck would I go to college? Like, you can have that argument. So just sit down, have an adult conversation, be respectful, be assertive, be honest. And even if they don't agree, or if they don't let in, or if they don't, like, let you do something, then fuck them. Just do it in secret in your room, because really, I mean, it sounds like, oh, manipulation and you're hiding things from your parents, but like, dude, you're hiding things from your parents so that you don't live a false life according to them. You're hiding things from your parents because they want you to live a false life. You're hiding things from your parents because you want to follow your dreams. Like, that's a good reason. So you could say, oh, but you're young, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah, sure, but like, fucking say that if you want. But know that I've done this. I've had an adult, respectful conversation. It kind of got heated here or there. I had to, like, raise my voice a little bit. But fuck it. Like, now I get to follow my dreams. It's a beautiful life. So, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. I'm not gonna fucking try and have as much watch time as possible. But, yeah. Have a good day. Peace out. And I'll see you in the next one. Mwah!